Let me point out that the three styles of dominate, accommodate, and avoid are natural and common in our day-to-day interactions, perhaps even useful in our communication that's devoid of conflict in particular. Some people are naturally going to dominate and take charge of the relationship. Others will accommodate, and still others avoid. These styles reflect underlying personality tendencies, I'd say, and they don't necessarily get in the way of a good relationship, and in fact, may even make things easier since the roles are somewhat complementary. It would be more of a problem if everyone were dominators or accommodators or avoiders. It's good and natural to have some variety. So my purpose isn't to communicate that the styles are wrong or bad. I don't intend to move you away from your natural style in everyday life, but rather help you become more aware of your style and its advantages and disadvantages, as well as recognize when another style may be more useful given a certain situation. For example, it is appropriate and healthy to dominate when you're in an emergency that requires decisive action, or when you need to protect yourself from someone taking advantage of you, when your values are being violated or others are asking you to engage in illegal or unethical behavior, when the other person is strong-willed and you need to match them in order to be heard, when you're not concerned about relationship damage. It may be appropriate to accommodate when preserving the relationship is important to you, when you need to buy more time to prepare yourself to respond to someone, when you might be wrong or another's ideas may be as good as your own, when you want to help another person feel empowered or win in a negotiation, or when relationship damage will outweigh the benefits of letting somebody else decide or be in charge. And then it makes sense to avoid when an issue seems trivial or unimportant, when the other person isn't ready to talk, when there's no chance of achieving your goals, or when the timing isn't right and you can come back later, when something is outside of your influence and control, or again, when relationship damage will outweigh the benefits of action. So it is appropriate to use each of these styles at various times. In fact, I even want to go one step further. As I work with people, I encourage dominators to learn and practice the tactics of avoiding so that they learn not to make quite such a big deal out of everything. I teach accommodators to act like, or at least move in the direction of dominators by being assertive enough to make their rights as important as those of somebody else. And I teach avoiders to become more like accommodators who are more aware of their feelings and inner experience. The problem occurs when we feel threatened or find ourselves in the middle of some communication and maybe it's conflict and we instinctively fall back on our native style. At these moments, we fail to give ourselves the flexibility we need to choose how to respond to what's happening. We act out of self-protection rather than openness and accountability, and so we diminish our ability to positively influence outcomes. For example, dominators will press others to get their way, but they cause and set up power struggles and create resentment and ill will. Accommodators will yield to the opinions and needs of others, which leads them eventually feeling unable to influence what's happening. Avoiders direct conversations away from unsafe topics, and so they prevent people from talking deeply about important issues. Well, the net effect of all of these styles, especially during conflict or when sensitive discussions are taking place, is that we fail to talk openly and respectfully about important issues. So in the next lesson, I want to talk about the fourth style of communication, collaboration. But first, I'm offering you an exercise to assess how and when you use the three styles that we've been talking about. When do you dominate, accommodate, or avoid? This awareness is critical to improving your communication.